Yes, people, we're back. We're back, and it's not just me that's back on the channel, but the protests. Oh, oh, that's starting to get a little bit meaty in the Man United fan base, and I am all for it. I am here. I'm definitely drinking this Kool-Aid because it's the fans making themselves heard and accounted for once again. And this needs to happen. It needs to happen, and it absolutely is a necessity that football fans, no matter what club it is, whether you're Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, non-league, um, or better yet, just anywhere else in the world. As fans of a football club, you are the lifeblood of that club. Without you, there is no football club. End of story. So, whatever it is our big billionaire owners want to scheme with or try to fleece the fan base, PR this, PR that, statement this, statement that, or sell to buy this, sell to buy that, we'll pull levers, sell XYZ. Um, yeah, we're not here for that. We're here to be able to support a team that's competitive and a team that is giving absolutely everything for the sake of their fans, and that's what it should be all about. For the sake of the fans, um, and that's where we're at right now. To be honest, we are absolutely mudded as a team, as a club. Um, the manager has spoken about a sell to buy issue with needing to do business at the club, which is an absolute fallacy, complete disgrace. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe planning more sackings, another 100 or so people. Um, Man is treating like a lot of the people at this club like cannon fodder now. I think definitely slimlining assets or slimlining to draw performance and results is definitely something worth doing in a lot of cases. But man, I'm seeing you preaching all of these financial issues that you could realistically have sorted out on a much quicker basis and sort of gone out of your way to fix them. But yeah, brother, we're not seeing that level of commitment from you right now, and the fans are clocking onto it en masse. The Chelsea have got their own ownership issues. We've got ours. Um, I'm sure there's plenty of other clubs. I think Liverpool fans with FSG will have their own issues, and Arsenal with the Cronkies. All of these different clubs, different issues with the ownership. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of clubs being run by owners that do not give 100% when they absolutely 100% unequivocally can give 100%. But they choose not to because they're not in the sport for the sake of glory or winning anything. They're in it for a pound note. And that is all she wrote with football ownership. But Manchester United, we have a game. We have a game. North London, Tottenham Hotspur, a club also in complete and utter disarray with their ownership as well. But according to Daniel Levy, they've got their Tottenham back. And Manchester United, well, nobody's got their Manchester United back, at least not yet. So we're sort of in a place right now where it's a little bit like limbo. We're sort of in limbo at the moment, trying to figure out what exactly this club is, what this rendition of Manchester United is, and the lack of the lack of genes, the lack of DNA doesn't really have any semblance of a club or a team. It's just a complete mumble jumble mess. And I'll tell you what, the funny thing about it is that in the last 5 games or competitions, we've actually won 4 and lost 1. So, as far as results on the table is concerned, we've had better results than Tottenham, but I think it's fair to say that from a Premier League standpoint, absolutely are going to be cooked. Um, I think it's especially from a performance standpoint, and I think that's basically where a lot of the focus is. With Man United is all about the performance and their lack of that we constantly see week in, week out, even when we do win. Even when we win poorly, we lose poorly, we draw poorly. We do everything off the pitch poorly as well, it would seem. But less of that. Less of that. So what do I expect from the Tottenham game? Well, I expect to win. I expect to win, but do you know what? I've uh, I've done a 180. And do you know what? I'm going to play in a card. I'm going to cast a card of a reverse psychology, right? I'm going to place it in the deck and absolutely screw up fate. I'm going to screw with fate with this one. I'm going to say Tottenham beat us 2-1, and Manchester United play some of the most abysmal football you've ever seen. So I'm hoping that I've cast it, that I've placed the hand, that it's sealed in fate now, that that Manchester United shall do horrendously bad and end up losing this game. Um, and that is genuinely what I've thrown into a prediction from a basis of a reverse psychology. Is that I sort of want to. I want to be a loser in these predictions. I do want to be a loser, but it's all for the betterments. For the bigger picture, for the greatest, for the greater good, the greater good. But nonetheless, nonetheless, Manchester United versus Tottenham away. It's Manchester United in an away game. Last time we came here was in the Carabao Cup, um, and lost that game 4-3. And I think it was, yeah, I think it was handing goals on a silver platter to the opposition, as well as having a goalkeeper not collecting a cross and instead just conceding from it, which was also Bayern. Um, and I think it was the week previous to that, Andre and Arnold did exactly the same thing. So maybe there will be no Altai Bayern for this game. He's out with an injury, along with Lissandro Martinez, who also cost us a goal the last time we played against Spurs. Um, so we've got Onana in goal, but as for the rest of the team, will we see Patrick Dorgu playing again? Possibly. I would like to see. I would like to see him get more minutes in this game. I want to see a better footballing side, as good of a footballing side as you can get. Is what I'm hoping to see from this Manchester United side. Just keep the ball on the ground, keep it under control, recycle possession well, press in the right positions, press as a team, and I just utilize chance creation well. Recycle the possession and just go straight back with it. Um, none of the imposter Coglu tactics where they just leave everybody barring two players in defence, regardless of the situation. They like to try and play a game of overwhelming, and I can absolutely see that that will have Amarim play the more defensive rendition of his system with the back five, which is not really great for the footballing aspect. So I suppose my idea or hope for playing a good footballing team is going to be unanswered. We're gonna have to bear it. We have to bear the pain of watching some bad football be played, and probably some of the team selection is going to be quite questionable as well, because that's kind of the trend that we've seen with Ruben Amorim thus far. But overall, I just feel like I'm sort of past the point now where I'm like, oh, we must finally dissect this performance. Was it manager or is it players? I just think generalized the culture, whoever takes the mantelpiece, even before they've even done anything, it's their fault already. I think with like Amarin, it was his fault when he boarded the plane from Lisbon, um, or somewhere close to Lisbon to come over to Manchester. It was his fault. At that point, it was probably Amarim's fault before we were even linked to him. It was every manager in the world's fault, because the problem at Manchester United uh, is so terminal. It would require, I think, the intervention um, of a board ownership to really getting stuck in and making some extreme changes. But extreme is probably never going to be. It's never going to be garnered. We're never going to see the extreme changes necessary to see Manchester United turn fortunes around. I think we're just going to have to play it in the long run, um, and hopefully, I suppose, even though it probably won't take. It probably would take quite a lot of terrible things to happen to the pockets of Ineos to really sort of, upset the apple cart, if you will. Um, I think there is a plausibility that maybe Ineos could, if situations doesn't improve at Manchester United, maybe Ineos will see fit to actually. Um, Actually, I don't know about Ineos. Maybe the Glazers. I think maybe the Glazers might. Depends on what goes on. If an offer comes to the table of a buyer, a potential buyer, if Qatar walks back into the room and just say to the Glazers, well, look, Sergeant Ratcliffe has first refusal, but you know, in the next five, 5 or so months, 5 to 6 months, um, basically, if you so deem that this isn't working out your to your liking, maybe present to you a way out. And I suppose it's an interesting conversation to have, because I was listening to the Chelsea lot um, go on about this, about the ownership, and how a lot of people say, oh, the fans can't get them out, they can't leave. When in actuality they can leave, they can be forced out. There's quite a few ways in which these people could end up going. Is that you don't commit to a business venture quite like this, on this magnitude, with such high repercussions of it going wrong, to not leave yourself with an exit route, right? And a meal ticket to get out of Dodge if it all goes sideways. And it feels like it is slipping towards going sideways at Man United. And I think that the agreement has definitely got some clauses there that will say, well, the Glazers can definitely force Sergeant Ratcliffe to sell his shares in the club, under the pretenses that the whole club will then be sold. And I just feel like we got to be putting our message out there. We've got to be putting our message out there, and we've got to be making we put the pressure on, right? Even if it doesn't really amount to anything, I think ultimately just a more united fan base than a more united fan base than we've ever seen before. Um, and I feel like everyone's just got to, drop your guard. Don't put your guard up. Drop your guard, and bring yourselves together, and unify for this one common cause, and that is a better future for Manchester United. And we just don't have that. It seems more and more like this ownership of Man United is more or less a vanity project that Sergeant Ratcliffe doesn't necessarily support Manchester United the way that he claims to. Um, and I've already called that out. I genuinely believe that Sergeant Ratcliffe doesn't support Manchester United. I don't think he does. I really don't think he does. I just think he's slightly. If he really, really loved this club, he'd probably be here every single week at Old Trafford. He probably would have thrown way more of his money at the situation because a United fan, a real United fan, can see the problems from a mile away. And they can say, well, yeah, absolutely, all of this has got to change. It's got to improve and fast. And I can change that. I can implement things to help, bring the change to the forefront. But sitting quite idly, putting a little bit of cash in, and then sitting idly whilst then giving interviews saying, "Oh, there's a little bit of an ignorance to the situation, like the severity of the situation." It's like in any severe situation, there's always things you can do to fix it, especially from the standpoint of near bottomless pits of cash. Cash in ownership terms can fix a lot of club problems. Maybe not team problems or performance on the pitch problems quite you know, in the same way, because you can spend good and bad in relation to performance of your team on the pitch. But spending on the football club, paying off the debt, getting rid of outstanding transfer fees, all of these different things, right? We're paying money to service the debt, but not letting the debt, like we're not getting rid of it. We're just sort of stroking it a little bit. It's like, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. It's like stroking a cat, except this cat is manged. It's got diseases. It's riddled with everything in the book. It's riddled with donaculinitis. That shit's like leprosy, flesh-eating disease. Yeah, that's just going to eat you from the inside out. So yeah, that's kind of what the debt at Manchester United is like. So lo and behold, right, the real Donna Cullen, not the YouTube one. The real Donna Cullen's just like, why is this guy on YouTube talking about me? And why has he compared me to a disease and leprosy? I don't know. But sorry, but you're going to have to be in the crosset. I've dropped the Molotov and you're in the burning range. And quite frankly, honest, everything's got to burn. And if you're standing there, you're standing there. You're going to go up in flames as well. But you're just collateral damage. You just collateral damage at this point. But anyways, the scheduled protest from the 1958 is penned in for Arsenal at home, 9th of March 2025. There is details on the Twitter page for the 1958, and it has been shared by other content creators on YouTube. So if you want to find the details for that, if you're planning to go to that game, you can, and I do recommend joining in with the protests, just being there to voice the same, the moral support with the other fans, and to get your message and how important that message is out there. I don't know whether it's going to be a humongous protest necessarily to, bring around a game cancellations like we saw against Liverpool several years back. Probably not anywhere near that sort of magnitude, but you never truly know. Never truly know. Never underestimate just how far a fan's going to go, because all it takes is the few fans that really just go the whole 9 yards, for then the rest of the fans to take one look at them and go, "Oh fuck it, just I'll just go on. You just follow what they do, and deal with consequences later." It's like shoot first, talk later type situation. Um, I can't condemn whatever it is that fans will do, but ultimately, I will not sit here and say that they're anything less than football fans, because at the end of the day, there will always be football fans. genuine and honest football fans. And I think for I think it's like Valencia had fans that their owner, who's I think they're Thailand or Taiwan or something like that, or the Philippines. It's some Asian country, and some of the Valencia fans actually went out to protest against the owner, and ended up. I think it might have been Singapore actually. I can't remember. I think it might have been Singapore or Malaysia. It's one of those countries. But some of those fans are apparently now imprisoned, and a lot of the fan communities of Valencia are still trying to get these guys out of prison. That was like a year or two ago that happened. But the Valencia fans are going across the world, to go, you know, voice their issues with the club. Valencia fans flying around the world to go and protest, whereas Manchester United fans were quite locally kept. What would be nice is if we were constantly all like we've got much bigger outreach than Valencia, huge outreach. You could get protests anywhere, right? Absolutely anywhere. But it's got to be about the fans wanting it. How badly do you want your club on the right track? How badly do you want the ownership to realise that think about it, you as a fan of Manchester United, are taken seriously by your club's ownership. Imagine a world where that happens. Well, it starts by putting the right foot forwards first, right? Put the right foot forwards, take that first step. The first step is the hardest step, and ultimately that those guys, no matter how you know untouchable they think they are, ultimately, the way to damaging a billionaire is not through actual bodily harm at all. It's all through the monetary means, monetary stream, revenue streams, all of that sort of thing. Ways in which you can hamper the flow of cash, and when you hamper the flow of cash in a billionaire's world, the alarm bells start ringing. So disruptance, I think, is probably the word to describe um, perhaps what the endeavour from the United fan base will need to be to get ourselves heard by Ineos and the Glazers. And I think just the reality of the situation, the the whole sort of situation with the finances, and how we're in a position where we need to sell to buy and sacking loads of people. Do you know what would be quite interesting is a lot of these employees that were employed with Manchester United, seeing if those guys jump in the picture of the protest as well, because you might see one or two interesting faces crop up in the crowd, perhaps. We'll have to see what happens with that. Um, but yeah, as far as a team goes, and like for the Spurs game, um, I can't necessarily say as far as a starting 11 goes, because I think this team somewhat proves that no matter what starting 11 you put out, the difference between the wrong team and the right team is not really relevant enough um, to really see, us string good performances together and put in a good run of games. So I'm sort of in a position where it's like, yeah, right. Doesn't really matter who we play, just as long as the right kind of United turns up to get the job done. I think that's what matters most to us at this point. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Share with us your thoughts and your feelings about the protest situation. Do you feel like more fan bases need to make it very abundantly clear that no matter what, the clubs are absolutely dependent on the fan base's approval? And you know what? That's just a quick thing. Fan base approval. That's why they spin as much story and crap as they do. Because when you spin a story and you need the fan support. If you can't get it, you're not supported. If you can spin a story and the fans buy it, you've got their vote of confidence. The fans need to really be careful. Acknowledge when your ownership, yeah, or your club is not being honest with you, and call it out at the very first sign of trouble. You have to do this, and you have to be very strong-willed to do it, because there's a lot of people that do literally believe absolutely anything. Somebody could write on a napkin that Qatar are buying Man United tomorrow and let it fly in the wind on a windy day, and this napkin could fly all the way across the country and land on someone's forehead in Shrewsbury, and they'll look at the napkin and go, "Oh my God, Qatar buying Man United tomorrow! Oh my God, oh my God!" And they'll go tell their friends, their family, and they might not even be a Man United fan, but those sort of people will still exist, no matter what walk of life they're from. So be very much aware, is what I would say. But yes, be very aware. No good, the bad, and the ugly this week, unfortunately. Work commitments on one of the panelists, so the show couldn't go ahead, and it would have been sort of moved to tonight, but it's Valentine's Day, and there's a lot of people who would much rather be dealing with more bigger priorities in personal life um, than doing YouTube streaming. I mean, to be honest, it's Valentine's Day for most of the people. For me, it's just Friday. It's just Friday. Just another Friday. It is just Friday, the 14th of February, 2025. Honestly, Valentine's Day could not care less. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and if you wanna make me feel a bit of a Valentine's Day cheer, or a bit of that loving, then if you leave a like on the video, I'm sure I will send you a Valentine's Day card and a box of chocolates. And I'll do so without knowing your address. I'll just pack it up in the post, play lottery codes, yeah, postcode lottery, and whoever wins gets a box of chocolates. They'll probably think, "What the fuck is this? This thing is absolutely laced with something," and then bin it. But oh well. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and yeah, should see you probably for Sunday night takeaway show. It's probably going to have to be the Sunday night takeaway show. Working this weekend, people. Retail, eh? Retail. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and we'll speak to you again soon.